I've just showered, put my pajamas on, lounge wear, super comfortable, got my tea in hand. Hello you guys, my name is Kayla, for everyone who is new here, and welcome to my channel and welcome back to my channel if you guys have been with me, and if you are new, welcome, welcome, welcome. And I know several of you guys are new. I am incredibly thankful that you guys decided to subscribe here. My last video, I was like, what? Mine is blown. So if you guys want to be here for more faith chats, more Bible studies with me, more just my everyday life on my faith journey and and be here as I grow and mature in my faith. And I only hope to encourage and challenge you all to do the same on your faith journey, because it is quite the blessing. It is the best decision to just humble ourselves and choose to serve Yeshua, because Yahushua HaMashiach does wondrous things in our life. It just changes our lives, our hearts, our mind, our perspective, and just like helps us to grow our trust in Him and grow our faith in Him. It's a beautiful blessing if you ask me. That's a whole other video topic. But if you're here, if you would love to stay here, go ahead and like this video and go ahead and subscribe for more and more content. And liking this video does let me know what videos you are enjoying. It's evening, it's getting late, and your girl has work tomorrow. So we are going to go ahead and get started on today's video topic. Making a video like this is really new for me. It's pretty nice. It's nice because normally I think of my years in the way of continued growth. I don't really do like resolutions or any of that. No. You know, in my faithful mindset, I have intentions for the year, and I just really pray and ask the Most High to lead me in that and allow Him to do His work. And like my timing is so diminished, and I'm like, it is your timing, okay? He's always timely. So I always, in my years, lean into what He has for me, and that still stands. And I would encourage you guys to do the same, to like really hold your own desires, or more so like your expectations, I would say. It is good and quite the blessing to have desires, to have hope for things, to pray about things that we hope for. But I would say in terms of like new year resets, weekly resets, monthly resets, let's hold it at, what's the expression? A grain of rice or a salt of, what's the expression? Oh yeah, just take it with a grain of rice. I think it is. A grain of rice, I think it is. Anyway, hold it loosely. Just trust Him in all of our habits, our intentions, and what He calls us to do. It's really important to just pour into the plan that the Most High has for us. Like Elohim has a plan for us, a prosperous plan for us. He knows the plans He has for us to give us hope and a future. So with that, it is important to just hold our expectations, our way of doing things with a grain of salt, which I think that's the expression. So that's sort of how I kind of have an outlook regarding yearly, daily, monthly, weekly resets, to really just pour into the will and way that Elohim has set out for us, because Yahushua HaMashiach really knows what He's doing. Really just dive into His roadmap. Like put your seatbelt on and just say, all right, I'm in the passenger seat, or I'm driving this car, but I need you as my GPS. So that's sort of like the route I go at times. But this year I'm trying a new thing, kind of doing a list of things that I want to, or desire to like press on with or be intentional about. and start doing and implementing, and then pray about each of these things and ask for Elohim to really help me to like push and press towards these certain things and do better. So most of these things on this list, or as I desire to do, are things that were areas that I needed to grow in last year, but still growing in this year. Like, it's a progression, but I put it on because it's a brand new contract, a brand new list, a brand new thing to think about type of thing. Just to disclaim, somebody, and especially people who know me, will be like, "Kay, you put down 23 things to do this year when you have all this going on." I'm a person who does a lot, yes. And I'm always committing to a lot or starting a new thing, or, you know, I'm always doing a lot. But it doesn't mean that, like, it's overwhelming. I mean, there's times I get busy and there's times that I really call to rest and really being coherent to the Shabbat this year, like, more often, because I did last year and that was my desire, but there were some times that I was still pressing on. Yeah, but just to say that these are the things that I have set out and that I intend to do, but obviously not in one weekend or one day, 1 week. It's a progressive thing that I'm going to spread out amongst the year or year or so, prayerfully. Of course, it's in the Most High's will, and He just knows the plans and what would be, you know, what would need more attention drawn to it or what would need less. I'm excited to stretch myself, to challenge myself, to encourage myself and others. And, you know, it's through these things that I can be a blessing to myself, to you guys, to my family, to my friends, co-workers, etc., etc. So primarily there are a few things that I just really want to focus on, overarching amongst these things. I often ask Elohim, like, what is it that I should put at the forefront? What is it that I should really focus on? And the few things that were on my heart and that I just really have leading on is to focus on my health, physical health, inwardly, my diet, what I'm eating, what I'm consuming, what times I'm eating, and staying active. Second is my relationships, to continue to nurture them and be intentional in them, to be present. I really try to be and to cater to everyone's needs and just show care and be there and talk and chat and be 110% to really work on my relationships, and also continue praying for like-minded friendships now. And it would be a beautiful thing to have more and more women of faith in my circle, and that's where I'm so blessed to have this platform, this channel. Have you guys even reach out to me on my Instagram, or me reach out to others. Like, I've kind of genuinely built some friendships there too, and I'm so blessed to have that community here, and I'm so grateful that more and more of you are like reaching out and subscribing, because it's not only just like a subscriber, it's like a new friend, you know. So in that regard, but more so in my relationships, in my most immediate life, to start to create boundaries with and build respect with. And lastly is developing myself as a blossoming woman after Yahusha's own heart, in the way of, I am 22 now, and how do I aspire to grow in my adulthood? Pressing on in my 20s, you know, only getting older by the day, and as I age, it's like I want to allow my life to follow that, and blossom into myself as an adult, get into homemaking. There's also some other habits and activities that I want to get back into, new handcrafts and skills I want to take on, and like really dive into that and put energy into that, because I had it in the past. And at 22 years, there's certain things you want to grow and aspire and nurture and learn and start doing, because you're only getting older. I want to grow, I want to change, I want to expand myself, I want to challenge myself to new things. Number one is progressing in my Bible study. So I do my studies, I devote time daily, weekly, all that good stuff, and I want to progress through the Bible and also the Apocrypha. In those books I read a few, but I feel like I haven't intentionally like read it in sequence, and of course I'm not rushing myself. It's all in Elohim's timing on that, but I really want to get through the Word, take you guys along, and that sort of thing. So progress in that, and we'll see how much of the Bible I really read, well, how much more of the Bible I read through, because I got through the entire New Testament. Oh, but there's also books from the Sefer. Okay, I got most of the New Testament, but including the Sefer books, I had to get to that. But there's also the Old Testament I gotta get to, and then that's why I love my Sefer, because it includes the books of the Apocrypha that are missing. So technically, yeah, I want to run through that. Second is to read more faith reads. I do have a few on my shelf. You guys saw in a few videos back. But yeah, I want to read more faith reads that are necessary and that I'm led to read. You know, put my phone down more, keep it down, detach. I've been really good with this so far. At one point, it was like, okay, what is up? What is going on? But I have been more intentional, especially at work, and that's where I train myself first, because it's a need. We don't want to have that interfere with our job. No. But I spoke to so many friends about this, or a few of my closest friends. I'm pretty sure I asked my best friend Gabby too. I was like, please, prayer requests, prayer over this, because I don't know why I have my phone so at the hip, you know, or in the hand rather. But one of my friends gave me a really great tip that stuck with me, where, well, I used it at work and it kind of spilled into my other endeavors, but to keep my phone in my drawer, close the drawer, out of sight, out of mind type of thing. And it's been helping a lot. Then at home, I keep it face down, or if I find myself scrolling too much, I close it and reoccupy myself with something else that is non-device. Next, when talking about health and what I'm eating, I would love to be more intentional on cooking, getting in the kitchen at any capacity and really whipping it. I mean, my big sister, I tell her all the time, and just recently I was like, I'm so proud of you and admire the fact that you love to be in the kitchen since 14, so we're 7 years apart, and I always looked up to her that, like, by her watching my twin and I, and we're in the house together, she really made it happen to whip meals up and just had the heart desire to do that, and the patience, it became her passion. As for me, I get in there a little bit, I get in the kitchen, but I really need to be more intentional. No excuse there. This year is the year that I really want to be intentional about this. Start with looking at some recipes, get in the kitchen. Now I can season some meat, I can cook, I can do it. I just don't do it. And during college years, I was like, oh, it was college, it's architecture, I don't have the time to sit here and cook nothing. This is not it. I'm not cooking anything. I can do spaghetti or whatever, I can do soup. I do essentially love cooking. I do love to eat especially, so it will be ideal for me to cook. Next is more on the technology end a little bit, and my camera gear and cameras in general. I myself just begun this camera thing, this videography thing, content creation thing as of 2020. Prior to that, your girl had no knowledge. My dad is a photographer, my brother is a photographer. They both are amazing. They just take wonderful pictures. And I was always the visual arts, while my brother was more graphic and digital arts in that regard. So I'm picking this up solely for the purpose of my content, and I love hand skills, but I've also learned to love digital creation and like all that good stuff. And creating content here and films. So what I want to do this year is really being more intentional in learning my cameras. I kind of am still in the learning as I go, especially with my Nikon, my DSLR. I want to learn the ISO, apertures, exposures, learn like my settings, like my settings I favor when I film, and like have my thing and know it inside out. And really just learn different settings and like test things out, test slow-mos. So as I go along in my content, like I really want to take the time, maybe an hour or two on the weekends, maybe 3 hours, to learn my camera gear. I think it's fitting that I learn this stuff, because I would love to not have like fuzziness or audio malfunction or video malfunctions, because sometimes that will delay some of my videos and I'm like, girl. Next is my desire to get more handsy, more crafty, more use my time wisely with my hands, aside from, like I said, cooking or on the camera. I would love to get better in sewing, crocheting, and knitting. And yes, I know. So many people tell me that, Kayla, you act like you're like 35 years old, or you're 40, or you're a grandma, or you have an old soul. I do, and I embrace it. My desire for this, it started with sewing, and I do have a jacket or a coat that needs to be sewn. I want to sew on a few patches on there because the coat got destroyed in a few areas, and I love the coat, and I'm like, I want to learn how to sew for that reason, and also in general. But that's one of the things that I want to get better in and be intentional about this year. Especially like I can spend time sewing or crocheting on my train rides now. My ride's an hour and 20 minutes. In an hour and 20 minutes, close to 30 some mornings, I can be occupying my hands aside from having my phone. I do spend that time reading sometimes or praying, but I feel like getting into handcrafts can really be nice, and over time develop something or develop anything. It'll be beautiful and so fruitful for myself and others. Next is to get back into my first love in terms of my skill set, my craft, my heart. Everyone knows that since 5 years old, I had a pen and crayon or whatever to write with, and I was drawing. And over time, I just started sketching everything everywhere and painting. Of course, I had more time, like after school in elementary, and time in high school to devote every 2 weeks towards my project. And from K through 12, I was in art courses, and what was it? I had gifted and talented art courses or AP art. And my actual homework assignments would be to do art pieces. So I did have the time to devote every week or 2 weeks towards a sketch or a painting. So it was for that reason, I guess, I was more into it and had the time, of course. But time is not an excuse. We make the time. So, of course, scattered in my weekends or during my week, I would love to just pick up a new sketch, pick up a painting to keep progressing in. Next is architecture related. If you guys do not know, I did graduate with my Bachelor of Arts in Architectural Studies. I am an architect now, though though I am working in an engineering firm, technically speaking, but yeah, just to start to turn some wheels in my architecture career, of course with Elohim's leading, but I do want to work towards taking my architecture exam towards my licensure. Next is financial. I want to save more money and spend money better. It's good that I've been progressing in this. It's good that I've been progressing in this, but I want to spend money better. I know you guys all may be in that same boat, whether you guys are adulting, high school, middle, college years, and especially in this time, inflation is up, financial recession is basically near or even here with our economy or the world. Of course, we can pray about that and pray for wisdom, but in the meantime, we need to gear up and get more serious about saving money, storing money, you know, preparing for what's to come ahead. We don't know what's to come, but of course with wisdom, we want to budget better, save better, don't spend on like unnecessary items. Of course, one method that I started to use now in the past few months was, and especially this month, I really like implemented this method of before I purchased anything, keep it in the cart or keep it on my list and give it a few days. Sleep overnight, check in the next day or 2 days later, check again and see if I need that thing or see if I need these 3 things. By the 3rd day, if I check it in, like I would start to say like, I didn't need that. I'll take this off, I'll take that off. And I'm down to 1 item that I really need. And one tip I would give if you guys are like in middle school or high school right now, I know it was in high school at 16, I got my first bank account. It's tied to my mom. And my tip would just to be like, start good habits while you're young and they will reap while you're old, or they would remain or enhance while you're older. And that's with anything. Number 10 is to fellowship more. I think I touched on this a little bit, but really stay connected with you guys. I'm so blessed to have you guys as like I said, my friends and community to reach out to on Instagram and DM with you guys and chat about Bible studies. Like I actually have to be more intentional in seeking this out. I still am praying in the area of friendships and true like edifying friendships in my life. 11 is modesty, and I love this topic. I will expand on this topic in another video. There are some delays with that. There were some malfunctions, but it's okay. Elohim's timing always. I just have a whole new perspective on how I carry myself and to want to lean into modesty. Like I have a whole new beautiful perspective on that. I'm so blessed that like that's where Yeshua is leading me, because it's just so beautiful. Like I've gone through the stages of decluttering my entire closet, getting rid of clothes that I know I will not wear and don't have desires to wear, and really reconstructed my wardrobe, minimalized my wardrobe. So that's where I'm like being led to this year and on and for the rest of my life. It's beautiful. To share what's really on my heart. Like there are times that I hold back. Of course, it's wise to hold things back and watch what I say and like move in wisdom and not just like not speak with gentleness, because I do. But what I mean is like when it's time to have something be said, say it. When it's time to step up to boldness, say it. When it's time to confront something, say it. And push past that being nervous or hindrance of like hurting someone else's feelings. And I say that lightly. I don't want you guys to take this the wrong way, but like there's times that I would really hold my tongue to silence completely in order to preserve someone's like feelings, but then like in the end I'll be helpful to share that thing with someone, or to speak up for my own good or sanity, or like if I'm being impacted, I'm always willing to like suppress and like just press on. But it's good to speak up and let the person know like, hey, and if I don't keep saying it, then it won't not happen anymore. So I have to get better at speaking up on what's on my heart and just being honest and just being plain. It's like, it is what it is. Here's the truth. And you and I both know the truth. So why am I gonna hold it back? Next is to organize digitally. This is a big one. I have like terabytes of stuff, terabytes of footage. And as a content creator, it's really important to stay organized, keep projects organized, keep projects like backed up and cleaned up, and not have storage full. Y'all know, if you guys follow my Instagram stories, or my Instagram rather, I've been updating you guys. Like it was like a week and a half ago where I had a malfunction on my progression of editing a project because my storage was full and I had thousands of things on there. Like I had like 6,000 things, like rendered files, and the whole thing was a mess. But it's important to stay digitally organized. Like I'm very organized in my room, in my space, in everything, in everything in my life. Everyone always like, hey, you're like super organized. Like everyone knows me to be super organized. But digitally, I can get better, especially with storing things on my hard drive or my memory cards or my projects. That is really important to keep upright. Your next, again, is just my eating habits, to really switch to, I think I have note to start snacking, but snack healthily. In the summer, I was really inspired to start snacking because there's times of the day that like my energy level will go down. So I guess I'm not eating enough or drinking enough water. You're really staying in tune with my body and like what it needs, because I can very much neglect that. Next up is stop filling silence, or stop filling like a free schedule with something. So I have two things. I fill silence with noise sometimes, or I fill a free schedule with something to do. If I'm not available, that does not mean like let me fill it up with something. To replace social media socializing with something else that's mindful. I am pretty cool with this, but there are times that I'm not. There are times I can stay in the Word and rest my mind on what is good, what is pure, what is edifying, rather than just like scrolling. And I don't really have this habit with like Instagram too much, or YouTube. Like I just watch what's needed and get off. But I personally have a conviction or like something about the app TikTok where it's so addicting, and I need to have a boundary altogether where I just took it off my homepage and I don't even use the app. Like I've weaned myself off the app so completely that like I'm never going to it.
Hi sister.
Hey, welcome back home.
Did you miss me?
Yeah, let's go. To be more consistent on YouTube with you guys, even if it just means just hanging out, a simple video, I can simplify things. And really be intentional about this by all means necessary. Okay, take you guys in on my quiet time more. I know you guys thoroughly enjoy those, and I enjoy those, so continue on with that. Of course, the faith chats and a little bit of lifestyle, and just grow in consistency. And I really struggle with this because life does get busy, and I allow this to be like put on the back burner. If it comes down to that, I will keep you guys updated. But I really want to be intentional to every Wednesday upload. And we're going to do this. I'm praying about this. I'm praying about the affirmity, the strength, the discipline in this area, planning properly, preparing properly in order to have this done and grow and be more organized in order to accomplish this goal. So that is the goal. That is what I'm committing and affirming and setting out as a rule book to do. Next up is to be present with my goddaughter more. I am so blessed and honored to have this role or take this role. And I want to be present with her more, like learn her love language, learn what she loves to do, spend time, be a light to her, be an encouragement. Like she really looks up to me and I do her. Like you know, children can really influence us too. I love kids. I really do. I love all my younger cousins, and I really value them and value their opinion as people, as growing. Like we learn from each other. Like kids will teach you things too, as long as you're humble enough to learn from them and receive from them. But this year, I really want to cater to her needs, as she is 5 years old, 2 months to being 6. I really want to cater to her needs, and yeah, while I'm thinking about her love language, she definitely is a talker, so she loves quality time and I guess you could say words of affirmation, but not really affirming words, just I don't see, but she loves quality time. Definitely I would say quality time is what I see, but I would love to fulfill her love cup or her appreciation cup. Like, what would make her feel appreciated by me, and like I can start to be a light to her while she's young, because it's always good to start young, to just pour into her and encourage her, uplift her, even in the word in small ways, and like allow her to just be a kid and be hopeful, and start to nurture her faith. There were times like when I'm playing with her and she'll fall, I'm like, okay, let's pray about it. I'm like, don't cry. Let's pray about it, and let's pray for healing over your boo-boo. Number 22 is to listen more. I do this, but there are times and seasons and areas where I can definitely be a better listener. Listen in a way to really like speak less and listen to someone more, and like cater to your need. And the times that I do see myself fall short in this, I'm like, correct me please. Like I would tell my best friend all the time, I'm like, look, I'm gonna stay silent, you speak, and like go ahead so I can hear what you have to say. Like I don't really speak over people, but I would sometimes, I don't know, like I mean I do listen to people, I do, I'm charismatic, but I think I can do a better job. We always have space for improvement, and we always have room for improvement, and it is by my own judgment, by my observation, not that anyone's like, oh, you don't listen. And I do notice people who have that quality to stay still and listen to what everything someone has to say and then speak. So I want to have that, like to exercise that bone, to listen a lot more and remember what they're telling me in order to give a sound response. But I am primarily better at like the back and forth tango. But I want to work on my listening and then my retention and that, and like hear people and then like have it stick and remember. Next and last is just to navigate a healthy work life, even hobby balance. With all the list of these things I just mentioned to you guys and just talked about and listed out, I want to navigate a healthy timeline, a healthy time management, and to really not overexert myself, and be led by the Holy Spirit on these things, and when to like work more on a certain area, work less, because I can be a person who would love to get a job done by all means, even if it's losing sleep or whatever, to accomplish a task, but that's not always the healthiest, and it's not the healthiest. I want to be able to get a full night's rest, sleeping at 9 p.m. That's one thing that I should have wrote down too. Working on my sleep. But I want to have a healthy sleep cycle and also allocate my time to all these things, to all these different facets, and get it all done. And I'm praying for that. That's a healthy way of living and being. And I want to put my trust in the Most High, and I really have, but trust the Most High in being able to divide my time rightly for all these things. And I trust Him. It's like, I'm gonna go to sleep at this time, even if it's early, and even if this task and that task is not done, but I trust you. And tomorrow's a new day. I will get it done, timely and focused, and all those things. So those are the areas that I really want to work on, and I consider them to be healthy habits. I did 23, but they all will be done at different times and phases and increments. So let me know in the comments what habits you guys are working on. It does not have to be 23. If you guys want to do that on your own time, I would encourage you. It's kind of cool to step back and think of a long list of things like that. And I love you all. I appreciate you all. Thank you guys for staying. And I would love to see you guys again next week. It is getting later and I have to go to sleep for work. And I hope you guys have a blessed week, a blessed rest of your night, a blessed morning, whatever time you're watching this. And I love you, and I will see you guys at the next video. Bye. Have a blessed one.